Hello everyone. Today I would like to read out the sixth chapter titled The Walk Back Home from my manuscript, The King's Daughter and Him. This story is a work of fiction. All characters, events, and places are imaginary or symbolic in nature. Any resemblance to real person, living or dead, or real events is purely coincidental. The story is intended for entertainment, creative expression, and interpretive storytelling purposes only. I'd like to read out the story. That day, on my way back home, I was alone. The streets were filled with small stalls decorated for Raksha Bandhan. Bright Rakhis, colorful threads, and puja items were laid out in neat rows. I paused at one of the stalls. I wanted to buy a Rakhi for my dearest friend, someone who had always been like a brother to me. He had, in many ways, filled that space in my life. I had always imagined tying him a Rakhi someday. I picked one and messaged him, "Hey, tomorrow is Raksha Bandhan. Will you be my Rakhi brother?" His reply came instantly, "No, we are friends and will remain friends. I don't believe in these rituals." I was taken aback by his bluntness. Why would he refuse something so simple? For a moment, I felt uneasy, almost suspicious, but I dismissed the thought. I had known him for years. Our friendship was built on trust. Trust doesn't come easily. Even before writing the story, I had questioned whether it should be written at all. Stories are meant to carry messages and not to investigate someone's life. My friend understood that. He had given me permission to write this story. How many hymns did I take permission from before writing this? Only I know. How many kings' daughters did I seek permission from? That too, only I know. Every life is complicated, and to unravel it completely is never easy. Lost in these thoughts, I continued walking home. My phone beeped again. His name flashed on the screen, but that day I did not feel like replying. The phone kept ringing, messages kept coming. I ignored them all. Something didn't feel right, not about his reaction, but about everything we had been doing lately. These matrimonial process, the way we were analyzing people, the way decisions were being approached, it all felt uncomfortable. I spoke to my parents about it, not about the king's daughter, but about my involvement in helping him with his bride search. They listened patiently. My mother said, "Don't get too involved. You can look at a profile if he shows it to you, but don't comment. It's his life. He has to decide. You can't make decisions for him." I agreed. That night, I decided I would tell him the next day I could no longer be part of this process. I switched off my phone and slept peacefully. The next morning, around 6, the doorbell rang. It was him. My mother spoke to him while I got ready for work. When I stepped out, he was sitting in the living room talking to her as if nothing had happened. I greeted him. He smiled. "I have some work near your office. Let's have breakfast together. I'll drop you. Anyway, it's Raksha Bandhan." This is not my treat," I replied. "I've already spent enough on you this month." He laughed. "It's on me." We left soon after. The car ride was quiet. There was no conversation, only the soft hum of the air conditioner and the faint jazz music playing in the background. Then he said, "I'm going to meet the king's daughter today." I stayed silent. "Don't you want to know how I met her?" he asked. "I don't think what we are doing is right," I said calmly. "Did she trust you enough to share her story? And even if she did, is it right for us to discuss it like this?" He thought for a moment. "Will you come with me to meet her?" he asked. "No," I said. "Maybe she wants to speak to you alone. Some things should remain between the two of you." He hesitated. "I haven't thought about this many times. This time, I don't want to meet her alone. Please don't involve me in this," I said firmly. "We are simple people. I don't understand how you became a part of her complicated life. Stay away from trouble." Then I asked, "Why do you even want to meet her after all these years?" "She insisted," he said quietly, and I couldn't refuse. We spoke for a long time as he drove. Eventually, he convinced me. But before agreeing to meet her, I needed to know her story. He began. "When I was alone in that country," he said, "helping my friend with his matrimonial search, it was the only distraction I had. Back then, the king's daughter was living a very different life. Her father, the king, had already lost his kingdom. The land was no longer under his control, but the loss wasn't just political, it was personal. His elder daughter had betrayed him. That incident broke him. The family's reputation suffered. The dynasty began to crumble. And in response, he became strict, especially with the younger daughter. He hardened her. He controlled her life to the point where she began losing touch with her own emotions. She stopped trusting people, men, women, everyone. She believed her elder sister was responsible for everything, for her father's downfall, for their humiliation, for her own suffocated life. Her sister had disappeared. No one knew where she was, and the king's daughter wanted to find her, to question her, to understand what had happened. But she had no freedom. She was confined within the palace, watched, controlled, restricted. There was no way out. Painting was the only thing she held on to. So the king decided to bring in a drawing teacher to help her develop that skill. An advertisement was placed. He paused briefly. I came across that advertisement one day while I was replying to matrimonial profiles for my friend. I was bored, so I picked up a newspaper lying nearby. And there it was. I applied just out of curiosity. I wanted to see the palace. I contacted the king's assistant and got an appointment to meet him the same day. By then, we had reached the restaurant. We sat down for breakfast while he continued narrating. I glanced at my watch. It was getting late for work. We wrapped up quickly and he dropped me at the office. As I stepped out, I reminded him, I will come with you, but only after I know everything. That's all for the day. Do let me know your thoughts about the story by writing in the comments section. Thanks for watching and thanks for your time.